What did you get, Mike?
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Sleep soundly tonight from the brand that more families trust for quality and timeless protection. ADT.
So I made it so easy to pay off my student loan debt.
They were able to give me a personal loan so I could pay off all of my credit cards.
I got my mortgage through SoFi, and the whole process is so easy.
Express yourself. Express yourself.
Hey guys, new phones are here. We switched to Spectrum Mobile so we can mix and match plans and save money.
Nice.
We got the by the gig plan, so you'll
Nice.
and so do you. Nice. It's great they let you mix plans like that because they understand that everyone is different. We're not clones. Right?
Spectrum Mobile lets you mix and match any plan and save, because it's a better way to mobile. Spectrum Mobile.
All right, good morning, guys. So let's take a look at what we're looking at today. So I believe yesterday we sent out Neo, Neo XL, DK and G, and then also to look at Plug, Laser, and J Maya. So Neo is actually very high, as it should. You know, we all knew this was going to happen. It was going to keep going. You know, I just don't like holding stocks for too long. I mean, I'll say I hold it for $1, but then, you know, like, I'll go for like the 55, 45, whatever the average pop on the stock is, I'll go for. But yeah, so we see Neo. So all right, so we'll take a look at XL first, since I have it on the chart. So XL is going to be the first stock we're looking at. The reason being is because it is at fair value right now, so it's not too high, it's not low either, so it's like right in between. So I would like it for it to come down here, around this area. Although it can very easily go from this point to this point here, which is what I would like to sell at. So if we can get it around here, even around this point, I would like to sell it around here. That'd be very, you know, be like a 65 cents jump from there. But reason being I like it is because it's been selling off and it's looking like it's gonna make a comeback. So I don't see this selling off too hard today. We did see a nice jump, you know, like a $2 jump from here to here. Came down, dropped like half of that, and then started trading and reclaimed half of that, and then fell after hours, and then regained about what, 50 cents, 80 cents pre-market. So this is where we're at currently. But on the 5-minute, it's definitely fair value. We already came down to 1950, and then even more so 1725, well, like 8-9 days ago. So then we had that nice spike, and then it came back down. And then remember that this is a new stock, it's IPO, so 3609. So we do have ways to go. These all being levels of resistance that I could definitely reach. As you know, this is in the EV sector. It's a good company. So I'm going to be watching this for a minute. So now we'll take a look at Neo. So Neo is a little high. It ramped up $2 pre-market, which is insane. Will this keep going? For sure. I do think this will drop. I won't be interested in Neo for a day trade until maybe it gets to this level here, this level of support, or even better, this level here, 52.30, which was basically where I bought at yesterday. So and that being a level of resistance that it popped up over, came back down, and then finally breaking over, and then coming back down, bouncing off that, and then going back up. So we do definitely see some potential. Neo's going to keep going regardless. So it is what it is. It is very way overextended. As you can see here, but with Neo Day, like what, 3 days away, it is what it is. All right, so then we have Neo or J-Maya. J-Maya's nice where it's at. It did sell off. It did recoup some of that. We do have ways to go. Being the next level of resistance would be 3640, which would be very reachable, especially since it's right above the resistance line. So I like J-Maya where it's at right now. I would love it right here at this level, 3522. That would be a great level because that's pretty much kind of where it's at right now is support, bounce off support. So anywhere those two lines would be nice. All right, and then I also want to talk about Boeing and Facebook. So Boeing is in prime territory for this to run up for $10. This can do it today. It's done 15, 20 on more than normal. Normally it's like a $4, $5, $6 stock, but this is prime again still as it sold off hard, came up back here, reclaimed all of that. So we can definitely see a sell-off. It's already selling off, so it's definitely going to go back up, and especially where it's at right now, prime. This is good for a $10 swing. So right now this where is that? 209. That's just the level of support going back a couple days. So it's right there. So we can definitely see that jump up real nice, at least at 8 at 215. And then real quick, I want to talk about Facebook. So Facebook is under fire, but Facebook is super cheap right now. You can definitely run this for a swing for like a $20 run, probably be like about a 4 or 5 day hold, but you can definitely see this. I mean, look at this. It is super cheap of where it's at right now, where it came from. And then if we take a look at the 180, I mean, look at that. It's literally trading right here at this level, and this is where it was resisting before it broke out, came back, bounced, broke that again, came back down, broke it again, came back down, broke it. So it's definitely prime right there. So where it's at right now, I think it's good. So I might be jumping back and forth to those as well. So as we have about a minute left in the bell, we are going to focus on XL. Hopefully it reaches down for us. We're not going to chase anything. Neo is just way too high. DKNG is way fucking high.
Save and spend wisely for one bright holiday and an even brighter future. Sign up today.
DKNG is way high. I knew it was going to do that. It did sell off. It sold off a little bit more, but then it jumped up real nice. So.
Georgia, but as it stands, Democrats have won at least one of the state's Senate seats, with Raphael Warnock defeating Kelly Loeffler. The other too close to call at this point, with Jon Ossoff leading David Perdue by just over 16,000 votes. And as the votes came in last night, President Trump quickly began spewing claims of voter fraud. The same baseless arguments we've heard about for weeks. The Georgia Secretary of State knocked down time and again. At the same time, arguments that at least 13 GOP senators will defend today when they object to Biden's win. Arguments that don't make sense. Joining us now to discuss.
Here we go.
RNC chairperson Robert Secretary under President Obama, and Kevin Haynes, editor at large of 19th News.
All right, I need this to sell off for me just a little bit.
What we saw in Georgia last night.
Well, it was a tectonic shift in the political landscape.
BA is going up.
The Republicans only have to look to one person for last night's victory of Senator
J-Maya's going down.
Senator-elect Ossoff. And that's Donald Trump. He nullified the elections going back to the general election.
I'm gonna go for a 65 cents run on this one. If we're at a level, I might jump in on the next one, being that 21.91 is like the level of support and resistance that it was at yesterday. I just want to see what the next candle tells me. We're in a 2-minute chart.
So the odds were stacked against it largely by the president. So the Democrats now will roll into this year with probably control of the Senate. And Republicans can only sit on the sidelines for the most part and say, why Trump?
I don't know about that. Aaron, would you agree that...
All right, so it looks like this is taking off with us, without us. I want this to come back down. Jemiah is ripping as well. My God. That should just rip the dollar almost, man.
Stephanie, and listen, as somebody who is from Georgia, who has long covered Georgia politics, and who has long covered the black electorate, I mean, I wrote...
All right, well, these are gone without us.
In Georgia, and she only doubled down on that.
I'm gonna wait for this thing to drop. What is Fubo doing? Fubo's dropping.
Paying off in the likely victories of both Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff last night. Listen,
what a massive run! That's amazing, man.
Beginning to expand the state's electorate by talking to people across the state, not taking any voters for granted. In rural Georgia, in particular, people who have been unseen and unheard in the state, who didn't feel like their vote necessarily counted, and then, you know, after coming so close to becoming the first black woman governor in the history of the country in 2018, but been missing that largely due, so many people believe, to voter suppression, not going home, but saying, you know what, I'm going to continue.
So we're going to go ahead and jump on Jemiah. I see that we can definitely try and get this to jump up real nice. So 35.87.
So yesterday's election, it's one thing to turn out white voters in a red state, but to turn out black voters across the state in a red state in the way that she and other black women organizers did is really more than a notion, and just the idea that voter suppression was so front and center, and that it was not just about beating David Perdue or Kelly Loeffler, but really about defeating voter suppression in that state.
Wow, this is taking forever, man.
I think that really is what should be the takeaway in the storyline, not just of this election cycle, but definitely of last night's runoff.
And not putting her own political career out front. She wasn't running again. She was truly putting Georgians first. Your thoughts?
Well, I can't disagree at all with the impact that Stacey Abrams has had in Georgia, and the testament to long-term organizing to change that state. I also want to give some credit here to somebody who was maligned in November as not having any coattails, and that's President-elect Joe Biden. Georgia has been a national election since the moment these runoffs became a certainty. And that national election was, what was the art of the possible in the first 2 years of a Joe Biden administration? And the short term and long term of the next 2 years of having 50 Democratic votes in the Senate means you can get a Supreme Court justice passed. You can get federal judges passed.
I don't know what's going on with my Thinkorswim, man, but so it looks like this is there we go. Wow. Alright, so looks like this is gonna drop for us. I was trying to anticipate that bounce from here on. But looks like we're gonna take this long ride with us. So I'm just gonna hold. I'm gonna sell this for 50 cents, 55 cents. So we got in right here.
Well, Stephanie, I think when I woke up this morning and thought about the history that was made in my home state, this was a system that was literally designed to disenfranchise black voters, right? The runoff election system, and that was the system in which this happened.
36.42.
From Insay Ufot, who now runs the New Georgia Project.
So 36.42. So
we are undoing a history of voter voter suppression and injustice in Black and brown communities. And I think that really is, the way that they see the work that they have been doing. That is something that happened not just with Black voters, but also with Latino voters and Asian voters, and the work that those organizers did to pull together the coalition that was apparently responsible for pulling off both of these victories last night.
They knocked on people's doors in every neighborhood of every color. People have had the right to vote, and they help people figure out exactly how to execute that. Michael, in the spirit of there's always a tweet for that, I want to post up something that Lindsey Graham tweeted back in 2016 when he wrote, "If we nominate Trump, we will get destroyed, and we will deserve it." Of course, he was talking about the 2016 presidential election, but can you talk about how far the party has come from that and where it goes from here?
Well, as president, it was truthful then, and it was truthful now.
I don't know what's going on with my Thinkorswim.
The wreckage and ruin that defeated the
Anyway, so XL took off for us. Jeremiah had this massive run in the first candle, which is the 2-minute candle, and then it just decided to like take a dump for us. So I was waiting for that second candle. I saw it sold off a little bit, and I saw it starting to go back up. So I wanted to get up to here. It was a little high, so we're just gonna go ahead and play this out.
Donald Trump was created for. And that's, at the end of the day, their truth. This doesn't break down about policy and whether or not there's an infrastructure bill or to Robert's point about Supreme Court appointments and all this other stuff. It's about the fact that you took yourself out of position to govern. You took yourself out of position to lead the country forward by following some crazy.
I don't know why this thing won't put my trigger. I'm trying to put a trigger here, and it won't let me put it.
And so, if this plays out today, Lindsey Graham's words will hang as as an epitaph on that tombstone.
Robert, do the Georgia tapes with President Trump or the election results down there, is that going to impact what we're expecting to see from these 13 Republican senators today who plan to stand up and defend the president?
Oh no, man.
And these voter fraud claims that there's no basis for it?
It will affect it as it should.
So I don't know what's going on with my platform. It's not letting me do a few things. So I guess I just have to watch it, even if it doesn't sell for me. I don't think it's gonna get to where I want to sell it at. I want to sell it here.
But I think it's important to step back here. This is not just, you showed that tweet from 2016. This is not just a 2016 problem.
So I guess I could just put an alert here.
It started, quite frankly, in 2010, maybe even some before that, partly led by Donald Trump. But remember, Barack Obama had to get his birth certificate flown from Hawaii to prove he was an American. Right? This has been something that
I guess I could just do that since it won't really
for almost a decade, and it is going to take a long time, and this is evidence of what you're seeing today. Donald Trump is leaving the White House. He's going, and yet there are 13 people that are keeping his memory.
So again, so I play stocks that have fast recoveries. So I do know that Neo has a fast recovery, XL has a fast recovery, Jeremiah has a fast recovery. They're cheaper stocks, but they're good stocks. Jeremiah has a good it's a good company. It's a lot of investors in this company believe in this company. So.
It was just so gratifying. I lived in Georgia for a year. Actually, my first job when I was done with school was in Macon, Georgia. And I have such good friends in Georgia.
Peloton is on here, Pins, Netflix. Oh wow, Netflix is on here.
History maker already, who inhabits this historic
AMD.
Ebenezer Baptist Church. And then John Ossoff will be the youngest senator.
Apple's on there. Oh wow.
Progressive with so much energy, and the fact that the Georgia voters did it in November and then they did it again yesterday just makes me incredibly happy.
It is a historic and important moment, but if you do have control of the Senate, you got to get to work. In your mind, what is the first thing you want to get done?
We've got to do a significant economic recovery recovery bill to both deal with the COVID health crisis and make sure that the vaccination program, which has got off to such an awkward start, is done competently and promptly, and that we rebuild the economy following an abysmal 2020 and build it in a way that's more sustainable and fairer to all. That's really the key, and I know the Biden administration is going to want to put a COVID bill on the table to do those things, and we're much more likely to get it now with a Democratic majority in the Senate.
But in order to do that, you're still going to have to work with Republicans every day. And that's what we started to do. Because today, 13 of your Republican colleagues are going to challenge the fair election results. What is your message to them, and can you work with them tomorrow?
Well, we're going to have to work with them tomorrow, but my message today is this. I mean, it's the day after the Georgia election, because
so Jemiah has been on a downtrend, cooling off. So as we see here, so it's been cooling off, and then it came back up here. So we can definitely see this reaching up $1 or $2 today. Yesterday it reached $4. So we can definitely see this move up real nice. Today. And then we see this step here. So it's doing what stocks normally do, when they're hot like that. So it's a hot stock. So hopefully this will go up for us today. Definitely has the potential to keep climbing.
It is time to find some solutions. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right. So let's see what the other stocks are doing. XL is what a beautiful run, $1 run. I just don't buy on the first candle, man. I need a direction, and this was giving me all the indication that this was going to fly up like it did yesterday. Had a repeat yesterday. Since it already came down somewhat, we could have definitely have seen that yesterday. Since it did open up here at the average, and that's for value. So we could definitely see that that would have gone up. Plus, we was right here underneath the line. It was, broke up off this 50 trend line, came down, and so. We could definitely see this go back up. I think this can move up $1.50 today. I'm not sure if I want to hold it for $1.50. It can very well drop $1.50 or $2 today. But I'll hold on to it. I'm fairly comfortable with this. So I'm gonna leave it at a 55 cents trigger today. Hopefully you can get there. It looks like it wants to do a little, climb up. So we'll see what happens, man. Not really worried on Jemiah.
And want to make sure that we're getting all the benefits that we're entitled to.
If you're not 100%,
XL, man, keep flying high. Wow, I knew that was going to be a good one today. Neo stagnating, already reached a high of 55.28. That's $3 away from, or $4 away. Yeah, $3 away from its max high. So we can definitely see this doing what we all know it's going to do. And then we were also looking at DKNG is stair stepping down. We knew after that massive run, we knew that was going to happen. I mean, it was just bound to happen, man. Facebook looks like it's stair stepping up. Facebook's a good hold. It's a good swing for a couple days, man, for sure. Definitely a faster mover than some of the other tech stocks. So yeah, we can definitely see that making some big moves.
is open to help anyone on Medicare make sure you are getting the benefits you deserve.
Just call 800-846-9090 now to find out if you're eligible for a Medicare Advantage plan that includes
and then BA.
hearing aids, free eyeglasses,
BA looks like it's wanting to continue to go down. It's it's right there, man. At that. Well, yes. Yeah, I can still see this doing real good. You know which one I wanted to look at? I wanted to look at Workhorse with everything going on. So this thing has been doing massive runs, apparently. From yesterday's low of 21 to today's pre-market high of 23, back down to 22, now back up, yeah, almost. We'll see. We will see.
So you can do you. New chapter. Wellness well done.
Payday. A big moment for your employees and a big moment for you. And it all happens thanks to the experts at Paychecks. When it's time to add a new member to your team,
$6 down, Peloton. Wow. Plug up $2.
Paychecks does that too. 50 years and thousands of experts in payroll, HR, benefits, and insurance. Sign up today for 1 month free at paychecks.com/futures.
Your grooming business is booming.
Wow, $1 something. That's gone up $1 something. Real nice. Hopefully, well, all these tech stocks are going up. I mean, these EV sectors are up, all of them. So hopefully, well, this is not an EV stock, and it looks like the rest of like the tech stocks are like down. Look, Shop is down. W is up. Roku's down. Nvidia is down. Cost is down. Netflix is down. Twilio is down.
3,300 people died on Tuesday alone, and there were more than 232.
So because of all these tech stocks going down, I don't feel comfortable holding on to this for $1, so I'm still gonna stick to my 50. I'm gonna do 53 cents, 54 cents.
Across this country, suffering from the virus. I want to go live to Aaron McLaughlin in Los Angeles, California, where one hospital has declared it is going into crisis standard of care. Aaron, what does that even mean?
Essentially means rationing care. It means healthcare workers deciding who gets the care and who doesn't. It means they're being forced to make decisions that, quote, pose a significant risk to their patients. Now, the hospital in question says that they are not at the point yet of having to ration care, of having to do that, but they said that they are...
Let's see if the sympathy can rub off on this stock. Because the rest of this stuff, Baba's down, Twilio's down, JD is down, fuck. Markets were green today, man. They're still green. The NASDAQ is down.
The ambulance services are now conserving oxygen. They're also being told not to transport patients deemed very unlikely to survive. I was speaking to one emergency room doctor who says these measures are concerning but necessary. Take a listen.
Giving a paramedic that authority is very concerning because they don't have the background and experience. However, right now, it is what we must do in order to save the majority.
Health officials are warning people here in LA County that if they leave their homes, they are at risk of contracting the virus. 1 out of 5 being tested currently tests COVID positive. Stephanie?
Erin, thank you so much. Coming up next, we're going to go back to Capitol
Come on.
for what is expected to
Keep pushing.
As Congress counts Joe Biden's Electoral College win. Congresswoman and newly reappointed member of the Oversight and Reform Committee, Katie Porter, joins us live.
Lactate is 100% real milk, just without the lactose, so you can enjoy it even if you're sensitive. Yet some people say lactate isn't real milk. I guess all those cows must actually be big dogs.
Every single thing I'm looking at is going up, including mine. So hopefully it can maintain going up.
Could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best.
XL looks like it's going to maintain a nice run.
Metamucilin fiber gels to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. It also helps lower cholesterol and slow sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. So you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil. Support your daily digestive health. Take the Metamucil 2-week challenge and feel lighter and more energetic. Sign up today at metamucil.com.
Unlike the cases on TV, a car breakdown is no mystery. It's gonna happen. I'm Ice-T and nobody likes it when their check engine light comes on, especially when your car's out of warranty. That can mean expensive repair bills. That's why I have Car Shield. They get expensive car repairs taken care of, so I don't have to. You gotta love that.
Having Car Shield is the next best thing to having factory warranty.
We chose Car Shield because we didn't want to get stuck with expensive car repairs.
Car Shield helps ease the pain of expensive breakdowns. When your car breaks down, you can take it to any certified mechanic or dealer.
The spread on Jemiah is like 10-12 cents. I didn't realize the spread was so different, so apart. I'm gonna try and put my trigger again.
The good news is Car Shield helps take care of those astronomical car repair prices, not you. Car Shield's low monthly payments and no long-term contracts make it easy for everyone to be protected and save money when their car breaks down.
It's like having a suit of armor around my car.
We're just happy with Car Shield. They put a transmission in it and a motor. Who does that? Car Shield covers most makes and models from 5,000 to 150,000 miles.
Let's keep it real. We all know it's not a matter of if your car will break down, but when. So think of Car Shield like a guard dog that protects your car and your wallet from expensive breakdowns.
That's where I want to sell that, right there. Alright, so platform is working again. Alright, so we'll see. It's struggling. It's struggling to go up. So we haven't reached our mark yet of what we would get out, when we would get out. But I wouldn't get out of this because you know, again, I play stocks that have, you know, potential of doing good. Excel is one of those. Plug is one of those. Jemiah is one of those. You know, so we have good steam on these stocks. When the steam runs out, then I'll look at other stuff. I've already added some more stocks. You know, we have Fubo, Hyliion, Ride. They've already reached their bottoms, so I'm just waiting for a good entry on those. I'm holding those swing trade for like a couple months on my other account. You know, but we also added Lee, XPEV. They're not in jeopardy of being delisted. We also have Blink, SB, Laser, and then we had you know, stocks that good companies that got beat down, earnings and whatnot, and then they can make their way back up, which is Spelunky, SPLK, and then we have, of course, we have Dash, and then we have Airbnb, and then, you know, we have Texas Instruments. So I added quite a few, you know, because sometimes, you know, we'll play the same stocks for a while until the gas runs out. When the gas runs out, you know, there's nothing you can do about it, man. You know, it's just no longer a stock that you can make money off of. You know, it's just gotten more riskier. So these stocks are not really. I mean, any stock is in jeopardy to go down hard, but.
Wasn't that we were losing votes, so we weren't having any in the Senate. So with a new Senate majority leader, with the Democrats in control of the Senate, we can bring bills forward that have the vast support.
Excel, insane, beautiful thing, man, beautiful. So the Nasdaq is down, the tech sector is down. Obviously, I can see it here on my watch list. I mean, Teams, Baba, Twilio, Netflix, Cost not really in the tech sector. Nvidia, Roku, Zoom, Jemiah struggling for me. Struggling. We just want that 52 cents pop. That's all we want. It's definitely in reach. As we can see, Jemiah has a history of breaking above this this resistance line right here. So we're definitely in good standings right here. As long as it doesn't keep dropping for us. If it keeps dropping, then this keeps going further up, which would make it a longer hold. So hopefully, this can get up there for us before the morning volume, starts to decline. So we'll see. We have some good volume on this right now.
The way they think it should, which is fighting for them, not fighting for corporate special interests. And both of these Senate races, both Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff, who I endorsed and have gotten to know, made standing up.
Plug is doing good.
Their campaigns.
Well, I'm guessing that's going to be you were streamed back to the oversight.
What's coming down now?
What are your top priorities?
Neo's coming down now.
Well, I think one really important thing to understand is that oversight is
Microsoft is making its way back up.
Who's in the administration? We still have an obligation to make sure government's working, and so that work is going to continue.
DraftKings was like, it's going down. Might come back after this little dip. Our stock is looking like it's gonna start to continue to drop. We were green for a brief moment, even when we bought in right here, and then we got in right here. We're like $3 or $4 green. Not worth it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it uses that support line as actual support.
Well, I think people need those checks. I don't think that anyone is going to go out and purchase anything today. What are people going to do with this $2,000 if they get it, when they get it? They're going to put food on the table for them and their families. They're going to be able to buy a warm coat for their child. They're going to be able to turn the heat, keep the heat on in their house. These are survival disaster payments.
People need the money to survive. Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I appreciate it. That wraps up this very, very busy hour. I'm Stephanie Rule. Thank you for watching, and stay right here. On the other side of the break, Hallie Jackson picks up breaking news coverage of the vote today as we get the Senate runoff in Georgia. Details next.
Attention, anyone on Medicare. Did you know you may now be eligible for additional Medicare-approved benefits, including free hearing aids, free eyeglasses, free home prescription delivery, and free rides to medical appointments?
We're both on Medicare and talked with an insurance agent. But we've been hearing a lot lately about newer plans with additional benefits and want to make sure that we're getting all the benefits that we're entitled to.
If you're not 100% sure about your Medicare benefits, it's time to call the Medicare helpline. The call is free. You could be eligible for a Medicare Advantage plan with
and there we go. And
that's no as in zero.
Off to the races.
But if I call, your agents can look up what plan I'm on and let me know if I'm getting all the benefits I'm entitled to.
That's right. Call now to instantly find out if you're eligible for a Medicare Advantage plan that includes additional benefits. You don't get these automatically, so call and see if you're eligible. The call is free and there is no obligation to enroll. Just call the toll-free number on your screen now to see if you qualify.
DraftKings is going back up.
Friends are all saying we should call right now to see if we can get new additional Medicare-approved benefits. But with so many people over 65 trying to call,
80 cents.
The Medicare helpline is open to help anyone on Medicare make sure you are getting the benefits you deserve. Just call 800-846-9090 now to find out if you're eligible for a Medicare Advantage plan that includes additional benefits, including free hearing aids, free eyeglasses, free home prescription delivery, and free rides to medical appointments. There is no obligation to enroll. The call and Medicare benefits review are absolutely free. Call 800-846-9090. That's 800-846-9090.
Trip you've been dreaming.
36,
Expedia has
39.
millions of flexible booking options because the best trip is wherever we go together.
Spectrum Mobile has 5G nationwide included in every plan with no added fees. I love 5G. Do you even know what it is? Colloquially known as 5G, it delivers higher multi-gigabit per second peak data speeds with ultra-low latency and massive service capacity. Oh yeah! Who are you? Just a smart boy with some bags. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm impressed. I may have read your diary, nerd. For nationwide 5G included in every plan, it's Spectrum Mobile. You're really good at this.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2021 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus up to 33 miles per gallon, an available 260 horsepower turbocharged engine, advanced technology, and an available extra-large touchscreen. The best Outback ever. The 2021 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Right now, get 0% APR financing for 63 months on the 2021 Subaru Outback.
Jackson, kicking off our special coverage here on MSNBC live from Capitol Hill, where history is happening today on two fronts. First, President Trump's push to try and overturn the election he lost will come to an end as soon as today. Maybe tonight, maybe in the early hours of tomorrow morning, right? But it will end. We'll tell you what to expect when lawmakers meet in just a couple hours to count the Electoral College results. And what the man overseeing it all, Vice President Mike Pence, is going to do. Our new reporting from inside Pence World as the president previews an attack on one of his most loyal soldiers. Speaking of loyal, check out what's happening just below where I'm standing. Supporters of the president's heading to the ellipse to hear him speak in about an hour. We can actually hear him from our position on the Hill. What sources are telling us about...
Well, that's disappointing. We see this is going to keep going down for us. How much further down it's going to go, I don't know. But I'm hoping it can do what it does normally, where it'll do one of these little... So right now we have a double bottom. So hopefully this can maintain a double bottom, and then it can go up from there. So this is the double bottom. This candle, and this candle here. See, here's a double bottom right there. So normally a double bottom indicates an upswing. So hopefully that is true. We'll see what happens.
Most organizations have not called the race yet. Where do things stand right now?
Yes, so we have it. It's too close to call, although the official NBC designation here is that Ossoff is leading in this race. Now, his margin right now over David Perdue sits at 17,000 votes. The vast majority of the vote is in Georgia so far, but what are we waiting for? There are a couple of clear pockets here. The biggest one is actually, I'll show you, it's DeKalb County. If folks were following the drama here in Georgia overnight, DeKalb has an awful lot to do with why John Ossoff leads statewide right now. Look, this is just an overwhelmingly Democratic county, piece of Atlanta, right immediately outside Atlanta, 80% plus Democratic county. And overnight, it was the release of the early vote that came out overnight that pushed Ossoff ahead statewide. The early vote is all done in DeKalb County, but now it does look like there are a number of mail-in ballots that need to be processed and reported out in DeKalb County. Could be up to 20,000 of those mail-in ballots from DeKalb County, which again, you can expect to be overwhelmingly Democratic. So that's mail votes from DeKalb County. There are also mail votes right next door in Fulton County. We just in the last couple minutes got a small release of those that pushed Ossoff's lead just over 17,000. There are probably about 5,000 mail-in ballots to be released in Fulton County still. Again, that's a heavily Democratic county.
Steve Kornacki there at the big board for us. Steve, I know we'll be checking back in with you throughout the morning. And by the way, Steve, any indication on when we might see more of these timing-wise, time of day-wise, right?
Right.
So we're about $1 away from where we want to get at. So it's a 55 cents trigger that I have there, but because it's sold off, they made it $1 now, $1.06.
He's already making history, set to be Georgia's first black senator. Absolutely. The first black senator from the state of Georgia, also the first black Democrat to ever head to the U.S. Senate from the South. And certainly, to say nothing of the fact that it's been decades since Georgia has sent any Democrat to the U.S. Senate. So we're certainly talking about history on a number of fronts here, Hallie. But when we also talk
see DraftKings going back up, real nice.
a lot for the diversity of the U.S. Senate.
Looks like XL's trading sideways.
So when Raphael Warnock heads to Washington,
might continue to go up for us, or may come down just a little bit more and then go up. See we see J Maya going back to the motherfucking. That's a triple bottom now. This motherfucker better go up now. If it stays there, then that's a triple bottom.
Your opponent, Kelly Loeffler, spoke last night. Notably, she did not concede the race. Do you expect a long, drawn-out process with legal challenges as we just saw in November in Georgia?
Oh, I expect to serve in just a few days in the United States Senate. I think that the people of Georgia heard a very clear contrast. I talked about how I intend to represent them, and my opponent was focused on how she would represent her own interests.
And Hallie, I think that it's very hard to overstate just politically what this means for the changing tide here in the state of Georgia. It's something that we, of course, saw back in November once we got the results with Georgia flipping blue for Joe Biden. But now to see a Democratic senator headed to Washington, and even to see this race between Ossoff and Perdue as close as it is right now, is certainly something that's quite remarkable. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is the question of recount. It's something that we've talked about a number of times over the past few weeks, given what we saw with the November election. Because this race is larger than 0.5%, because there's about a difference between Warnock and Loeffler, that's not going to be eligible for a recount. But again, Ossoff and Perdue, as it stands right now, they are within that margin. Again, more votes to be counted, but that could possibly lead to a candidate requested recount. Allie?
Yeah, this thing may stretch on for a while. Blaine Alexander, Steve Kornacki, thanks to you both. We'll be checking back in with you over the next couple of hours. Back here in Washington, though, in just under 3 hours behind me at that building, the House and Senate are going to meet for a joint session of Congress. That's where they'll count the electoral votes and officially declare the results of the 2020 presidential election. This process is usually something we're not even talking about much on the show. It's typically a formality. Typically very quick. Check out how long it took over the last 3 presidential elections. No more than 35 minutes. Not this year, my friends. You've got dozens of House and Senate Republicans planning to object to the results in several states, meaning this will drag out for hours, possibly late night tonight, possibly early morning tomorrow. They're basically objecting to millions of legally cast votes. But when it's all said and done, it's all but certain that Vice President Mike Pence will ultimately declare Joe Biden the winner of the 2020 election. That's how this is going to go down. Let me go now to NBC's Leanne Caldwell on Capitol Hill. Pete Williams and Kelly O'Donnell are with us, also in Washington. Leanne, what is the expectation, and what are you hearing from the sources you're talking to this morning, both Democrats and Republicans, who will be managing what we're about to see unfold on the floor?
So, Hallie, you're absolutely right. This is usually a formality. This time it's going to be a fight, however futile it is. What's going to happen today is that we are going to see 2 mahogany boxes enter the House chamber during a joint session of Congress, where a designated group of lawmakers are just going to read the electoral vote count. Again, a formality. But what's going to happen is, watch out for Arizona. That is the first state we should expect to see objections from House Republicans joined by Senate Republicans. Remember, they need both House Republicans and Senate Republicans for this objection to stand. The Senate will go back to its chamber. The House and Senate will then vote separate, or debate up to 2 hours separately, and then have a vote on that final motion, which is sure to fail. The House is controlled by Democrats. In the Senate, only 12 or 13 senators have said that they would object, nowhere near the simple majority. Then they go back to the House chamber and they do that again through the entire alphabet and wait for the next state objections. We hear that Senate or House Republicans could object up to 6 states. Senate Republicans could object to 3, perhaps up to 6 states. We're still waiting to see. But what my sources are telling me is that this is just going to be a long day. Nothing is going to change. It could go into tomorrow. But at the end of the day, Joe Biden will once again be declared the victor of the 2020 election. Hallie?
And And it's going to start fairly quickly, Leanne, these potential objections we know will happen once this joint session begins, obviously because of the way that the alphabet works. Pete, you know the Constitution. Explain it to folks here. Congress's role and what, if anything, can change. It seems like nothing particularly related to the role of Vice President Pence.
Well, the Constitution says almost nothing. All it says is that the president of the Senate shall, in the presence of a joint session, open the votes and count them. That's all it says. But there is a long law that was passed 133 years ago that guides the process. The way it's supposed to work is members should object if they think that the votes they have on the floor in their hands are not the ones that were certified by the state. But what these members of Congress are saying is they want to look behind that and see whether the state properly certified them, and that's what's causing all the questions here about whether they can do this. I think one thing to watch is what will the vice president's role be. It's largely to run the show, sort of like the chief justice in an impeachment. So the question is, we know that there are Republican slates that were sent in to his office from at least 5 states, Arizona, Georgia, New Mexico, Nevada, and Pennsylvania, saying, yeah, we know Biden is the one that the governor said won, but here's our Republican slate, we want you to count it. Will he bring that with him to the floor to be considered? We don't know. Peter Alexander, your colleague, asked the vice president's office that yesterday and didn't get an answer. I think it's doubtful. He could try that. He doesn't have the authority to do that, but that's one thing to watch.
Okay, play it out, Pete. If he tries it, what happens? Those don't count. You can't just show up, right, with a bunch of other electors who have not been named by the legislatures.
That's right. The way they're supposed to get there
Just looking at the, I was just looking at this impressive run that XL did. Alright, so we're gonna hold on to this for a little minute. We're getting close to me getting ready to get out of here. I don't want to up my trigger, seeing how you know, the further this got down, the further we go. This is getting further away from this support line or resistance line right here. So we'll leave the trigger where it's at. I do feel that, you know, if it just trades in between this channel here, you know, if it doesn't go down any further, like past this green line here, this oversold line right there, we can definitely see this tapping this here, giving it about $1 or so run from this bottom right here. So from 34.59.
Georgia, and of course the week since the November election and the grinding that the president has done about the status of this election. So the spirit here among the speakers and the crowd has been all about fighting, all about taking the names of Republicans.
So that's about $1.80.
In the ways they want to have happen to support President Trump.
Yeah, so that's $1.80. So from this low point to where I want to sell, it's $1.80. So we do know that it can reach $1.80. This thing can move $2, $3, $4, $5. As you can see yesterday, from 33.67 to 34, 37.44. You know, so it's like a $4 run right there. So from this point to this, so we know it reached from this point to this point, 36.70.
In some ways, the rally spirit. In other ways, it's this tension about
460. So about $1.80, it's already done. So that's all we're asking for. We can see if we can do that.
And then what is to come of this movement? What they're talking about is fighting to try to bring the Trump involved spirit of conservatism or populism back in a different way. And they're certainly standing for President Trump today in what is a cold and loud and raucous environment here. He has supporters to come, and many of them have. Allie?
So if I would have gotten here, I just put this here. I wanted to get in here actually.
from a different vantage point on what's
I
happening.
was just waiting for this to give me some more direction. I saw it going up, so I got in. And then, you know, a quick nod from here to there. So if I would have gotten here, we would have got on that. Yeah, because eventually would have reached here. So that would have been the play. But I gave it some time to grow to see where it would go. So.
Presided over his own loss. After the recount in Florida, 537 votes in that state, giving George W. Bush a win over then Vice President Al Gore.
I rise to object to the fraudulent 25 Florida electoral votes.
Is the objection in writing and signed by a member of the House and a senator?
The objection is in writing, and I don't care that it is not signed by a member of the Senate.
The chair will advise that the rules do care, and the second.
When our daughter moved in with us, our bargain detergent couldn't keep up.
All right.
Back to time. One wash, stains are gone.
Don't pay for water. Pay for clean. It's got to be Tide.
So we're gonna hold this for a little minute. I don't see this going. If anything, I see maybe this going. I'm gonna get out of here in about 8 minutes. So if anything, I see this maybe dropping down to here.
Do you want to reduce stress? Shed pounds. Do you want to flatten your stomach?
At most. So what we're gonna do is since I'm gonna keep my trigger where it's at. You know, hopefully it goes up for us instead of going down. But I think that if it does go down, I think it'll go down to here. I'll put like a second trigger here just in case. You know, it's like this might be a day hold for us, which is fine. I do think that JMIS, it's time for it to go back up. At least $1.80 or so. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna put a trigger right here of where I bought in at.
10 minutes a day. No expensive machines. No expensive memberships.
There we go.
With AeroTrainer. Go to aerotrainer.com to get yours now.
You know, just to let me know that it's, you know, it could be possibly on its way, because I'm not gonna look at it after this. And then, you know, we'll do one here where the support line is, because it's been having some trouble breaking that, you know, just to give me some kind of hope that it goes up. So we're gonna put those triggers there. We're gonna put those 3 triggers on top just to give you some indication that it's on its way up, and then the 2 triggers on the bottom to let me know. So if it hits 34.06, then I'll consider getting out of it, and then, you know, taking my loss. I do believe that JMIA is going to continue to go up. I think it'll go up today. Honestly, you know, we had 3 days, 2 days of a sell-off. Well, 3 days it was selling off after. What day was this? Mondays. Monday's massive sell-off, and then yesterday's beautiful run. It does have way to go to get back to that. So this could definitely reach 40.14. I mean, you know, the next level of resistance is 36.40, which is basically the level of resistance from yesterday and the day before, which had a hard time breaking, going above that once it made that massive drop. I'll show you what I'm talking about so you can see. So 36.40 here, it was a level of resistance, and then it became the level of resistance here. So I mean, once it broke down below 36.40, had a hard time breaking that as well as it did here. So it already did that today. So you can see here, it went all the way up to 36.63. But the next level of the real resistance would be right here. It would be 37.35. And then if we take a look at the 10, we see we have some levels, some ways to go as well. So, but because of this, because of the 180 chart, how you see how it had this massive dip down, like it dipped, it came back up, and it dipped again. So we could definitely see this coming back up a little bit. You know, there's a lot of talk on this stock, So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna get ready to get out of here pretty soon. We're gonna hold on to the stock. We're gonna hold tight, hold firm at our 52 cents gain. Give us about a $12, $13 gain there if it gets there for us today.
For President Trump, he, of course, is still denying President-elect Joe Biden's win. Some of the tensions have already started playing out at a rally yesterday, and in scenes like the video we're about to show you, appearing to show Republican Senator Mitt Romney being confronted by the president's supporters at an airport. Check it out.
We have a Constitution. The constitutional process is clear. Follow the Constitution. I'll explain all that. We'll be meeting Congress this week. Trump is a juggernaut. Your legacy.
You're a joke. Absolute joke. It's a disgusting shame.
NBC's Ellison Barber is over at the Capitol. Ellison, I tried to pick you out of the crowd. My eyesight's not that.
So my only fear is with this stock today is that if it goes down, the further my trigger will get away from this support line, because we do know that it can pass it. It passed it 3 times yesterday, and it passes it often. So we know we can do that. But if it keeps going down, then the further it's going to get to that. So, I mean, you know, as long as it stays where it's at, or maybe a little further up, if this continues to go down for us, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't go any more down for us than what it already did. So we can see a nice pop.
If for some reason they need to deal with any sort of violence, you can see this sign here, Stop the Steal. We've talked to people who have driven from states all over the country to be here for this. I just spoke to one man and I asked him what his plans are, what he would say to legal experts who have said there is nothing Vice President Mike Pence can do to change the results of the election, and that today is an electoral college vote count, and that at the end the results will be the same. It will be President Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And I asked him what he hoped would come from this, and he said he was here because he wanted to make sure that people knew that they were not happy. They feel like this election was fraudulent, and he wants to make sure that people on Capitol Hill know that they're not going to stop until they see something different. What that will be, it's not entirely clear, but you can see the crowds have gathered here. We are expecting to hear from some Republican lawmakers at some point this morning. They're not here just yet, but again, the thing that unites all of these people is that they all believe this election was fraudulent, and they want to see Republican lawmakers today object when Congress goes to count the electoral college vote. And there's that sign up there again. We've seen quite a few of QAnon and conspiracy-related signs out here today as well. Allie?
Yeah, AC to the rallies. You're seeing it here at these protests. Ellison Barber, thank you. We're going to have more on what Ellison is talking about, of course, the objections that we expect to that electoral college count later on this afternoon. But first, check out how some of the newspapers across the country are covering the other big story today, the Georgia Senate runoff. The race between Jon Ossoff and Senator David Perdue, still too close to call. This morning, check this out. This is a live look. The vote counting beginning again in Atlanta, with control of the Senate hanging in the balance. We're going back to Georgia next.
Kids in Need of Desk is a partnership I created with UNICEF and MSNBC to bring desk to schools in Africa. Your contributions really do change lives.
See how you can help at lastwarddesks.msnbc.com.
Keeping your oyster business growing has you swamped. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from a resume database. Claim your $75 credit when you post your first job at Indeed.com/promo.
To be honest, I thought dust, it never bothered me. Until I found out what it actually was. Dust like droppings? Dead skin cells? Gross. So now I grab my super heavy duty sweeper and dusters. Dusters extends to 6 feet to reach way up high to grab, trap, and lock away gross dust. Nice. For dust on my floors, I switch to sweeper. The heavy duty claws reach deep in grooves to grab, trap, and lock dust bunnies no matter where they hide. No more heebie-jeebies.
Glad I stopped cleaning and started swimming.
Attention! Do you have Medicare? Did you know you may qualify to get up to $148 added back to your Social Security check every month? It's easy to see if you're eligible. Just call the Go Medicare Benefits Help Center at 800-752-0614. In addition to receiving $148 every month, you might also qualify for a $0 Medicare Advantage plan that includes the following benefits: dental, including fillings, exams, dentures; vision, including exams, frames, lenses, and even contacts; hearing, including hearing aids, batteries, and prescription drug coverage, all at no additional cost. The Go Medicare Benefits Help Center is open now at 800-752-0614. Both the call and the consultation are 100% free with absolutely no obligation to enroll. Call the Go Medicare Benefits Help Center now at 800-752-0614. That's 800-752-0614.
At Heinz, every ketchup starts with our same tomatoes. But not every tomato ends in the same kind of Heinz ketchup. Because you can't be everyone's favorite ketchup without making a ketchup for everyone.
Hi, I'm Mike from Mediterranean Heating and Air Conditioning. Are you looking for ways to reduce your energy bills? Do you want to improve your comfort in a quieter, more cost-effective way? Mediterranean can show you the latest and new energy-efficient equipment for the ultimate in indoor comfort. We can help reduce your energy bills up to 70%. Mediterranean Heating and Air Conditioning is a nationally recognized leader in indoor comfort and energy conservation. Call our experts today and find out how you can tame your energy bills.
Coast to coast, from the Great Lakes to the Gulf. At Spectrum Reach, we make local businesses big and big brands look local. Grow your business with the best content, insights, products, and people. Welcome to Spectrum Reach. Let us show you around the neighborhood.
This holiday season, get 1 month free of Greenlight, the debit card for kids. They'll love learning to earn, save, and spend wisely. For one bright holiday and an even brighter future, Greenlight. Download and try it for free today.
We have some new reporting in from our Capitol Hill team just in the last couple of minutes since you've come on the air. They're reporting that House Democrats seem to be feeling pretty good based on how their weekly call began today. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer opened it up by playing Georgia on My Mind, according to multiple sources. Read into that what you will. But in the last couple of hours, NBC News changed its characterization of the Georgia Senate runoff race between Democrat Jon Ossoff and Republican David Perdue. It is too close to call still, but Ossoff is leading that very close race. The other Senate race seems to be pretty wrapped up. You got Democrat Raphael Warnock winning, defeating Republican Senator Kelly Loeffler. NBC's Shaquille Brewster is live in Atlanta. Steve Kornacki is at the big board. Steve, as promised, you are standing by in your post, so thank you. What are we waiting for? Where are votes still being counted? And what are you reading into that?
Yeah, so I mean, look at it this way, I would say the lead here for Ossoff statewide is 17,000 votes, is 0.4 point. I think there's every reason to believe that's going to grow, and it's potentially going to grow significantly as votes come in, because where are the votes left in Georgia? I'll give you the places right now. Number one is DeKalb County, Atlanta, and immediately outside Atlanta, a little piece of Atlanta here, and immediately outside of Atlanta. This is one of the most overwhelmingly Democratic counties in Georgia. There are mail ballots, vote by mail ballots, that's still to be tallied and released here in DeKalb County. Overnight, it was DeKalb. They put Ossoff into the we think something on the order of 20,000 mail ballots now to be released, to be processed and released from DeKalb County. Again, you can expect Ossoff to be winning the lion's share of those. So again, if you have 20,000 mail ballots in DeKalb, if Ossoff is winning the lion's share of them, you can see what that would do to his lead statewide. The other places where we have outstanding vote, again, it's about 20,000 here in DeKalb. There's about 5,000 next door mail ballots in Fulton County. Expect them to be heavily Democratic. There's probably about 4,500 mail ballots up up here in Gwinnett County. Again, I think you can expect those to be Democratic. When you have vote by mail, the vote by mail ballots tend to be more Democratic. It's the most Democratic type of vote. So right there, you're talking about 30,000 votes that are likely to skew pretty heavily Democratic. Down here in Chatham County, where Savannah is, there's probably about 3,000 or so vote by mail votes to come out today. You're more than 30,000 there. Everything I'm describing looks like it's going to be a pretty heavily Democratic vote. So the opportunity exists there in those places for Ossoff to build on that advantage statewide. There are some other places, not as big in size, where there is going to be some vote by mail coming in here. But I'm identifying some big places where Democrats can gain, where Ossoff can gain. It's hard to look at what's outstanding, what we know to be outstanding right now, and see big places where Perdue could offset that and then eat into that Ossoff lead. So those are the big places.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna start getting ready. When I get ready, I'm gonna leave the stream on. So we're gonna hold on to this for a little minute. I'm gonna leave my trigger where it's at. I'm not excited at all because of this little run, because we see it's done the run before and then it goes back down. So this might be an all-day thing just to get that 55 cents. Seeing that it dropped, I was trying to catch that momentum going up. I let the first candle swim around for us, and
30,000 votes, and just quickly, I think that's important because if this Ossoff lead does grow, the threshold for the recounts
ended up going down for us after that. So it's okay. If it was, like another stock that I was looking at, that doesn't have the potential to keep going up after a nice run up, it cooled down, then it has the potential to keep going up, it'd be different.
What are you seeing? What do you expect from the vote count and from the candidates?
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. It might be all day. Had a nice little run right now. So doubtful it's going to go to where I want it to go in the next 5 minutes. Hopefully it can just maintain this level where it's at now, and then continue to run for us real nice. So the topping point of this candle
still available. He said that he believes once we get to lunchtime,
it's 36.10.
Once we get to lunchtime, we should have a clear idea of this race. He also said that based on where those votes are, he believes that the Democratic challengers will receive more vote, that those leads will expand once those votes come in. It's because of that outstanding vote, Hallie. That's why we heard from Jon Ossoff just this morning when he declared victory. Again, NBC News has not called this race. We said it's too close to call. Jon Ossoff is leading, but you're hearing candidates and national Democrats start to say that they believe the Democrats have been successful in both
half of what I want.
Shaquille Brewster, Steve Kornacki, thank you both. We are staying on top of the other big story this morning, of course, the count of the Electoral College votes that will cement Joe Biden's victory.
I'm going to get out of here in about 4 minutes.
Colorado. He is one of the Democrats that will be leading the floor response, along with members of any challenge delegations during today's Electoral College count. Congressman, thank you very much for being on the show, and what I know is a busy day for you.
Oh, good to be with you, Haley. Thanks for having me.
So talk about your role today. Speaker Pelosi described it this way, that on the floor of the House, we will have what she calls a civics lesson about protecting the integrity of our democracy. Explain your job and what your strategy is moving forward this afternoon.
Well, Whip Clyburn has often said that the floor of the House is akin to a classroom, and so certainly there'll be a lot of people tuning in today to listen to the proceedings as we engage in the very solemn and important duty that the Congress has before us, which is ultimately to honor the will of the American people and to confirm the election results. I don't think the question before the House today is whether or not Joe Biden was elected the 46th president of the United States. He clearly was. 81 million people chose Mr. Biden as the president-elect. The question before the joint session of Congress is, will we adhere to the Constitution? Will we honor our oath? Will we ensure that constitutional Republican form of government here in the United States will endure? And I anticipate that we will. And I've been heartened, I will say, by so many of my Republican colleagues, people like Senator Romney, Senator Inhofe, Senator Toomey, many of my colleagues in the House who have made clear that they will reject the spurious attempts being made to object to the certification of the election results.
Well, let's talk more about that piece of it, Republicans and the adherence to the Constitution, because there is, of course, the role that Vice President Mike Pence will play. You will see that firsthand, sir. You'll be, obviously, in the room where it's happening. Do you expect, given President Trump putting a lot of pressure on his right-hand man, on the Vice President, do you expect anything that breaks norms from him today?
Well, that certainly remains an open question, Haley. What I would say is this. The role of the Congress and the role of the Vice President is very clear. It's outlined in the Constitution. The Vice President's role is a ministerial, ceremonial role that has been fulfilled by his predecessors for decade after decade, century after century. It's what has enabled the peaceful transfer of power since the early days of our republic. I have every expectation that today's proceedings will go smoothly, and that ultimately the dignity of this process will be respected, and that my colleagues will treat it with the respect that it deserves, and at the conclusion of today's proceedings, Joe Biden will be certified as the 46th President of the United States.
Do you have any guidance? Are you hearing anything about how many states we expect to hear objections to? The number, because that obviously affects the timing. Are we, chugging Red Bull in here through 6 a.m. or is it more like midnight?
We're not sure. Obviously, some members of the House Republican caucus have indicated that they would like to object to many different states, notwithstanding that there is no evidentiary basis to make those objections. So we'll have to wait and see. But I can certainly tell you that the House Democratic caucus is prepared to defend the propriety of the election, the reality that the people have spoken, and that it's time for the Congress to respect their will. At the end of the day, we cannot, the Congress, substitute our local judgment for the judgment of the American people. And Republicans and Democrats, frankly, have been speaking resoundingly in that favor. So I hope that today's proceedings go smoothly. I have every expectation of it.
What about the actual work of government?
All right, guys. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go for my jog. So it looks like we're gonna hold this for a little minute. And that's quite alright. So we'll see what happens later on today. I'll update you tomorrow. Oh, we sold Neo yesterday for about a $8 gain. I wanted to sell it for $12. My mouse messed up and I sold it by mistake. So it's okay. Alright, guys. Guys, have a great morning, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
That face us as a country. Of course, there are